Picanha, a cut of meat whose popularity has skyrocketed over the last 5 or 6 years thanks to social media. And we have yet to make it. Well, that ends today since we now have a rotisserie grill. Our first crack at this amazing cut is going to be Brazilian barbecue style, Churrasco style. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but we are going to cook picanha for the first time on this channel in our Brazilian Flame rotisserie grill. I did contact a couple Brazilian buddies of mine, some chefs, and they shared with me their tips and tricks so that it can come out absolutely amazing. I'm going to share that with you today. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started.
This is our picanha, and we've got a couple beautiful pieces that we're going to be working with here. This cut's also known as the sirloin cap or the rump cap, if you want to go to your butcher and ask for that. And we are going to be using our official picanha knife. This is the style of knife used to cut picanha. This came straight from Brazil. I'll put a link in the description box if you want info on that. And this is what the cut looks like. So the picanha has a relatively triangular look, as you can see right here. When you flip it over, you're going to have a beautiful fat cap on the back. Now, notice how one section of the fat cap is relatively thick, like right here. That seems pretty thick. And it kind of tapers off towards the other side. And so what I'm going to do is trim a little bit of that off so that we can even out the fat cap on our picanha. You don't technically have to do this, but it does cook better. I'm going to leave anywhere between 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of fat, and it looks like we are good to go. Just a quick little peek around this meat. I am tapering the edge of that fat off, but when we cut our steaks, you should see the end result. And I'm loving it. This looks just about perfect. Now it's time to cut our steaks. And because we are going to be cooking this Churrasco style on the rotisserie, we want to pay attention to the grain. Notice how the grain is going up and down. That's the muscle fibers. What we want to do when you're doing rotisserie is cut your steaks against the grain. So we're going to be slicing our steaks like this. Now, if you're just going to be cooking this up like a regular steak, you can cut it with the grain because what's most important is the final cut. You want the final cut to be against the grain, and that's going to deliver the most tender chew. Now, how big should you cut it? Well, I'm going to go 3 fingers on this one. That's going to give us 2.5 inches. You know, anywhere between 2 to 2.5 inches, I think is perfect. Let me know in the comment section below, how big do you cut your picanha steaks? All right, check out that fat layer at the bottom. We've got about 1/2 inch of fat remaining. This is after everything was trimmed. I think keeping the fat, you know, anywhere between 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch is going to be perfect, and it's going to cook nice and even. We've got 4 steaks out of this picanha, and notice we got very short grains running left and right. So that means when we put this into the classic C shape, stab it with our skewer, our final cut, the edible cut, is going to be against the grain. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So remember, if you're going rotisserie, cut it against the grain. If you're going regular steaks, cut it with the grain. We do have this other picanha. I am going to process that off camera. I was able to get 3 steaks from it, and this is what it looks like. Now, none of this goes to waste. All of this fat that we trimmed off, I'm going to grind that up with some meat, make some amazing burgers. This is a buttery, very flavorful fat, so you don't want to throw that away. And here we go. Now let's go ahead and get our skewer together. So this is just a very simple process. You want to fold your steak into a C shape and then just skewer it right in the center. I do find that if you leave your larger steaks for the middle of the skewer, that's kind of right in front of the heat, and your smaller steaks on the outer side of it, then they do cook a little bit better. And so that's what we're going to do here. Our smaller steak goes in first. Our larger of the 3 steaks is going to go right in the middle. And there we have it. Nice C shape. Careful with the tip of your skewer. Could be sharp. And then our final steak is going to go on the end. Notice that's also a small steak. All right, first skewer is done. Let me go ahead and knock out the other one. This is what all of them should look like once you are done. Now it's time to season these steaks, and we're going to be using coarse salt only. Matter of fact, I was told that that's the most traditional way to season your picanha. But if you don't want to be traditional, you could add garlic and pepper and whatever else you want. From my understanding, this is one of those cuts of meat that you season as you go. So we've got our first round of seasoning here. We're going to pop this onto our rotisserie. Once we cut off a slice and we expose unseasoned meat, we're going to re-season that, pop it back into the rotisserie, and allow it to cook a little bit further. So let's go ahead and fire up our Brazilian Flame rotisserie grill. Very simple to do. We're going to cut it on, crank on burner number 1. This is the 2-burner unit. This is a live fire unit, so you're going to get that elevated flavor that you would typically get, like at a Brazilian barbecue. Burner number 2, press it in, fire it up. Both of these burners should be glowing in no time, and we're going to preheat this to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about where we want to cook most of our stuff. Notice I do have a piece of foil on the tray at the bottom. It's going to make cleanup super easy. Heck, you can even throw some potatoes or vegetables down there while your picanha is cooking to give it that picanha flavor. We may do that in a different video. All right, let's load it down. So I'm going to put my small steaks to the bottom, right above it, our neck size. And this happened to be the biggest steak, so I'm going to put that second to the top. And it looks like we are ready to go. Let's turn on the rotisserie and let it cook.
All right, folks, it's now time to try our picanha, cooked churrasco style in the Brazilian flame rotisserie grill. Very simple recipe, just meat and salt, and I was told that that is all you need when it comes to making picanha. And let me just show you, we are incredibly tender. Let's give it a go. Wow. For this being as simple as it is, the flavor is off the chart. Incredibly juicy, and that's one of the things that I'm loving about this Brazilian flame rotisserie grill. It kind of not only elevates the flavor, but locks in the juices, because it's like as it rotates, the juices kind of baste the meat. One more bite. Wow. That's spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Let me go ahead and cut this off and show you what round number 2 looks like. Woo-wee, that look good. Check this out. Ooh, oh, that's hot. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful looking round number 2 here with the picanha. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's give this a quick cut.
I'm going to just start right here from the top. And let me tell you, the secret to cutting your picanha off your skewer is to make sure that your knife is razor sharp.
All right, there we go. Fresh off the spit, round number 2. Let me just kind of, the thing is literally just falling all apart. Here we go. Wow. Oh. Wow. Little crust on the edge there. That coarse salt just really makes that flavor pop. Buttery, juicy, tender. Wow. I feel like picanha is my new favorite cut of meat. Absolutely amazing, and I hope that you get a chance to try it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you want more information on the Brazilian Flame rotisserie grill, that's the one we used here in this video. You know, you're getting ready for springtime, for summertime. It's right around the corner. I'm going to put a link in the description box below so you can check it out. They got a bunch of different models and styles and all kinds of stuff to choose from. I appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel and you like this type of content, click that subscribe button and that notification bell, because we've got all sorts of really fun recipes on the horizon. I don't want you to miss a single one. Thanks a lot for being here. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Wow.